Welcome, everyone, to episode 318 of Just Joshing. I'm your host, Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff in Podcast 2. Today, Claire Boltin and Erin Weir joins the podcast. They are a dynamic duo. They are comedians, actresses, writers, directors, and they have their own theater company. And the story behind that is actually pretty badass, to be totally blunt. I really enjoy chatting with them. Erin, I've known because of her brother Kevin, who's been on the show a few times now. And I was like, okay, I need to talk to you because you're awesome too. And then I met Claire and I met Erin at When Words Collide. And it took a few years, but we finally got this interview in, and I'm really happy with it. This episode's a touch shorter. I actually broke this interview into 2 parts. I've been dabbling with the idea of going longer with the podcast. But like I said, I haven't had a shorter episode in a while, so I thought I'd close the year with these 2, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is today, part 2 will be on the weekend, and the Dr. Seuss Off will be airing on Christmas Eve, and that will be it for the podcast this year, 320 episodes. This I definitely did not release this when I planned to. I was hoping to do this one much sooner, but I've had a ton of amazing interviews this year, and honestly, you know what? With the way it worked out, I'm happy with it. I couldn't think of a better 2 people to close out than these 2. So without further ado, let's just get to that conversation, shall we?
Think you have what it takes to survive? Then get your ass to Mars. Get Your Ass to Mars is the latest simulation sensation courtesy of Indie Imprint. You are pitted against the hostile nature of Mars. Can you survive and pave the way for future colonists? Or will you succumb to the many pitfalls and obstacles in your way? Get Your Ass to Mars, the Dragon Edition, is available now on PC and Steam. Go to indieimprint.com for more details.
It's all good. So this is basically how it works. I turn the recorder on like this, like it's all magic. And she knows the first question, which is if you have anything incriminating you'd like to say, make it good.
I mean, we can talk about the time that I ran into a truck because we were
stalking. No, we weren't stalking.
We were reverse stalking someone.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you reverse stalk somebody?
So we were in Stratford.
Yes.
Okay.
I had just done. Was this the first year I had just done a residency there, or was it the second year?
I think it was the first year.
Yeah. So This is the first year I had just done a residency in Stratford, and we were going back to see the show I had worked on. Mm-hmm. And I had sort of had a little thing with a guy in the cast. And then he ghosted on us, and we were super mad.
Yeah.
So I had a next-door neighbor who had very demonstratively strong feelings for me. But I was somewhat put off, for he was a 34-year-old man who didn't know how to cook frozen vegetables. Mm-hmm. And I felt
that's kind of a red flag.
Like a standard life skill that you should have picked up.
A red flag. You turn the stove on. It's not that hard.
You don't even need a stove. You can do it in a microwave.
Yes.
Heat, water, vegetables.
Yeah, for any amount of time. Maybe not 4 hours, but
Yeah. But you know what? You could try.
4 hours on frozen vegetables?
Really? You could do it, but it's not a good idea.
Yeah, it probably would not make vegetables, but it might make
they'd
soup.
be real cooked.
They'd
be real cooked.
It would be a very bad soup.
A very bad bland soup.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were mad because the first guy had ghosted us. So we decided that what we should do is hang out with the guy who didn't know how to cook frozen vegetables, because he would definitely want to hang out with us.
Yes. Also, we had a fear that he would know that Erin was in town and would then be mad.
Yes, so we were like, we have to tell him that we're here. We have to ask him to hang out with us.
But at this current point in time, we don't want to see him face to face.
So how are we going to do this? This is early 2000s. There's barely Facebook.
Yeah.
Before smartphones, you can't social media stalk someone. We're going to put a note on his door. Mm-hmm. But we don't want him to see us putting the note on his door.
No, because like I said, we don't want to have any face-to-face contact at this time. We want to drop the note, hope that he's not in town, and then the next day or day after when we leave,
be like, we tried to talk to you,
but it didn't work.
Oh, I get it. You were half-assing. There's a half-assing the news.
Yes. Yeah.
So we drove by his house.
Yes.
And we saw that he was indeed home. It was a very small apartment.
Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh, God, what do we do? Obviously park right in front of the house.
Naturally. Now, we were young. I think we were under 25.
Yes.
So when we rented the car, we could only put one driver on it because it was expensive if you're under 25.
So Erin was a driver, and I was in the passenger seat.
And for some reason, we decided that I was the one who should put the note on the door, despite the fact that I was the person he knew.
Yes.
And I was the driver.
You were also the person we were trying to avoid having to see.
Although in an odd way, it makes bizarre kind of sense, because if you were to get caught, If you were to get caught personally, he would know. If he knew who you were, he'd be like, "Why are you here?"
Totally.
Right. Whereas you're at least familiar. I mean, it's a little
bit of a weird move. I'm like, oh, I thought you weren't home, so I wrote you this note.
And here you go.
You and Kevin are definitely related. Definitely related.
So I ran up to the door. I shoved the note in the door, and then was trying to run in a way where he wouldn't see me.
I was also hiding in the passenger seat because that was an obvious choice, because he couldn't see me either. Literally, we're like, oh man, he can't see either one of us, even though he's never met me in his entire life. So I was hiding.
Okay, that I have to admit is a little odder. Yeah.
I think what we were thinking was that if he saw a car parked outside of his house with a person in the passenger seat and no one in the driver's seat, it would make him suspicious.
Yes.
And we were trying to do the most suspicious thing possible in the least suspicious way.
Yes. So I was hiding.
I was running.
This is amazing, by the way.
And ran smack into the side
of a moving van. And I watched the whole thing happen through the rear view mirrors and couldn't do anything because I was also still buckled in. So there's the other part of this story. I couldn't help at all.
Shout to me, be like, Erin, watch out for the moving van.
Yes.
It was a bizarre moment for you. You knew you were going to get to hit this van before she did. You're like, I'm going to get hit. We're going to hit this van.
Yes. And it was bizarre because the van was moving. So the chances of you running into the side of it.
Very slim.
Yes.
But my human body did run into the side of a moving van.
And I was like, oh no!
They did not notice.
No,
all other respect, it's kind of like, human body to van,
van. I'm very small in comparison.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you might like, wind must have blown funny right there, right? Yeah.
Branch.
Exactly.
No, I was fine because I had all of the adrenaline from running up to the door. So it was like a drunk person in a car accident.
Exactly.
All my bones just turned into jello. And I was like, oh God! And I popped up and I was like, I'm good, we gotta go.
And then she pops into the car and we drive away.
I've seen drunk jello in action. I have seen it. It's frightening because I literally watched a guy tumbled. He did two full tumbles down the stairs. And he got he was just fine. I looked at this as how?
And then he probably was fine, the next day.
No. It was just
not okay?
Well, no. Well, he was rip-roaringly drunk, so okay is a very relative term.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
Yeah, is a relative term. But, it was one of those things I just looked at that's someone created you. Whatever your parents like. Dear God. And you're probably going to procreate too someday. Ugh.
And more drunk jello.
Yes.
There we go. No, for the record, I was not drunk. I was full of adrenaline.
No, you had adrenaline jello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is basically the same. And so then we drove away, and he did, in fact, get the note, and we did, in fact, hang out with him. And it was fine.
His quiet talking girlfriend.
Oh, he did bring his quiet talking girlfriend.
Yes, it was very awkward.
So he had a girlfriend by this point.
Yes.
Who he brought to hang out with us, and she sat next to Claire and whispered to her and quiet talked at her.
I couldn't hear her.
And I sat next to him, and he was very excited.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're both very confused. And we tried to talk to each other, and it was just awkward because I felt like I was excluding the quiet talking girlfriend.
Kind of was.
Yeah, but she was very quiet.
Could not hear her.
And also
we also sat in a row.
We were at a bar.
At the bar.
So it was very difficult because he would say something. And then I'd lean over to talk to him and then be like, oh man, I'm excluding quiet talking girlfriend. And then would lean back and then she would also lean back and I'm like, what are you doing?
No, we're making
She's following the leader. That's what she's doing. You became the de facto leader.
Apparently, and it was very awkward and
she's picking up on your social cues.
Yes. In the wrong way. I was like, you also have something, you're in the theater.
You're a costume designer or something. This was years ago.
We don't know what she did.
Odd. Very odd story.
We also say this was the early 2000s. This is 2010.
Yes.
Yeah. No. It's okay. I just was one of those things where I just look at that and go, huh. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those weird, strangely bizarre, borderline stupid things you do when you're young.
Yeah, that seemed like the smartest way we could have handled that.
Yeah.
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 And at the time,
it was.
I have to admit, for an incriminating story, that's pretty good. Funny.
We tried.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you two have been together. Well, that means you guys have been working together in some capacity now for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went to university together. So we met in 2005. Yep, working on a show in our first year of university. I was in the show, and Claire was doing her 222 hours, which at the U of C at the time were your technical theater hours.
Yeah.
So I think you were like a costume dressing room assistant or something?
Yeah. I basically just hung up costumes. That was the whole thing. You just had to work a show as backstage crew. Everybody had to do it in their first year.
So people wound up with weird jobs. Like one year I was in Hamlet, and I had a 222 who was assigned to me, and I played the ghost, and I had to once like walk through a black curtain, and disappear through it. Mm-hmm. So his only job, the only thing he did the entire show, was wear a black glove and stick his hand out from between the curtains so I could find it and he could pull me through, so it would look like I disappeared.
Exactly.
That's the weird things that university drama does.
But actually, television in general has these weird jobs like this. You what are you paid to do? You're supposed to hold this device over your head like this for 5 minutes.
Yep.
Then 8 hours later, you do it again and you go home.
Yep.
And that's your job for the day. How much did I just get paid? I got paid. This is a weird world. Yes, it is.
Yep. I mean, our 222 kids didn't get paid, but they did get class credit.
Yes, which first year university is all you care about.
And you got to go to the cast party.
Yes.
Which is also all you care about.
Yeah, well, that's the fun time. I mean, what did you do? I was the glove, but now I get to drink.
Exactly.
Yes, which is very important when you're doing theater stuff, I imagine.
Kind of like a writing conference. The best part is when you all get to hang out afterwards.
Yeah. Did you do the Fort this year?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
First time.
Yeah, second time for me, although I didn't stay. I got there towards the end, but it was like, everybody was having a good time. I was there for the first ever moderate injury.
Oh no, really?
A buddy of one of the American guys who tried to try to get out of the fort, but he tried to get out from underneath. So you know how the second story?
Yeah.
It tumbled and it hit someone in the back of the head.
Oh no.
They were okay. I mean, it wasn't.
I would say it is a pillow blanket fort.
Well,
so.
we used chairs.
There's actual chairs. There's actual chairs.
God, no. Chairs are
and
the worst fort building thing.
They made a second story. I don't know why. No one went up there. It was just for aesthetics.
It's because second stories in a pillow blanket chair fort are dangerous.
Yeah.
They will fall down.
So the lesson for When Words Colliders, so next year, no second floors. We just build elaborate first floors. That's it.
Exactly.
Like in Community.
Like in Community. You don't need aesthetics.
Yes. What you do, you just extra just on the ground base, not no vertical. Just keep it strictly horizontal.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a big room. There's lots of room to spread out.
That's right. Now I'm imagining next year's sport's going to be something akin to Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That would be really, really cool.
People are getting really committed to it and bringing things for it.
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to say it's my Dr. Seuss off. Next year might be they are talking about moving it to Fridays.
Oh, that would be better.
But also at night so I can bring booze. So I can bring booze. It does serve a purpose at Saturday because the thing about late afternoons, and you know this, you get information overload. A recess is actually a good idea there. It does serve a purpose there. Mm-hmm. But I really want to see people drunk and do Dr. Seuss.
Yes. There are different things that can go on Saturday. Live podcasts.
Yeah.
And
actually, I actually think the live improv stuff that you guys do.
Yes.
That should I think what needs to be done is my thing and your things need to be kept on separate days.
Absolutely, because they draw in the same audience, and you can't do too much of that in one day because people start thinking, well, I'm missing things I'm supposed to know.
Well, thing is here's the thing. I think I'm going to kill Noir at the bar next year. That's what I think I'm going to do. That's my goal. I'm going to kill them because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, my party's going to be way more fun. just as maybe not quite as much booze. I don't know if I'm going to have the budget for those those people have.
That's
But
fair.
I'll bring the good stuff anyway. I'll bring like Tim Reynolds brought like a maple whiskey this year.
He brought the Park maple whiskey, the
Ooh,
one that
nice.
Yes.
So we went to the Park Distillery last year, and that's actually where we planned our writing for the theater panel.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's how we plan all things.
This is going to be a very alcoholic episode. I can kind of tell. That's okay though. No, it's just one of those. It's just one of those things. Like if I can't beat you in quantity, I will beat you in quality.
There you go.
Right.
And then you get better quality people.
Yes.
Yeah. And people bring their own drinks. Like people know what's up.
Absolutely. No, I bring some because I'm the host.
Yes.
Yes. Obviously.
Yes. So it's like brandy or whiskey.
Ooh. I'd say whiskey.
Yeah. I do whiskey because
Yeah.
brandy should be warm and
Brandy's better in the winter anyway.
Yeah. And with brandy, the glass really matters too.
does.
Yeah.
Whereas whiskey, you can drink whiskey out of like a solo cup, and it's
it's
still
true.
good.
And you can put ice cubes in whiskey and it's okay.
Yes. Whereas
Yes.
brandy, you can't do that. So,
Like you can, but people look down on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's in a mix, like if you're making an old fashioned with
Yes.
which is weird with brandy, you want bourbon, but
But
still.
you could do it.
Yeah.
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 Bourbon's better on that one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or rum.
Rum old fashioned.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because with like the
Yeah.
smoky orange.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not every rum. This doesn't work with every rum.
Yeah,
With
I
good
would
rum.
imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, Captain Morgan's what? No. Ew.
No, that's pretty much it, right? much like if you're gonna have fun with your alcohol, make sure it's the good stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
I was telling Claire when we were walking over here, I was walking down my back alley the other day, and I walked past on the ground a plastic Mickey of Alberta Pure next to a plastic Mickey of Russian Prince. And I was just like, why?
These are not good.
For the price of the two of those, you could have gotten like a 2.6 of Smirnoff, which would be better.
Yeah. Like
Actually,
anything would have been better.
That's actually at that point. It's like maybe not Lucky's. That's what the only thing that might have been actually worse. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I just looked at it and I was like, why?
No, you don't want that.
No. And why was it in the back alley?
Yeah. I should tell you a story how I got free beer from a beer store. I started making fun of American beer in the beer store. I popped them because, well, here's the thing, right? I lived in Arizona at ground level. Well, now it's bad because if I go visit there for business now, I can't get drunk down there.
Really?
Well, because it's the mountain effect. Because you come down, it's a double whammy. My urine is stronger than most of their beer. She nearly spat out. Why? That's awesome. Would you like a minute? Would you?
I'm good.
I love it.
Right. So that's number one. So normally that would be a problem already, right?
Yeah.
But problem number two is I'm coming down Silver Mountain, so I don't get drunk. I get bloated, which is the worst, right?
Yeah,
that's
all
terrible.
the bad parts
Nobody
of
wants
beer.
that.
No, it's like give me a flat and oh god, and then that's just like and you want to feel something, right?
Yeah.
You don't.
And like, because the taste down there isn't good.
No, but
Like, we're so spoiled in Alberta with our craft beer here.
in all fairness, craft beers really become a big industry even down there. Like their craft beers are okay, but if you get stuck in a place where you don't have access to it, it's the worst.
I believe it.
Yeah, because I'm like, what happened?
Like we have Budweiser, and you're like,
Like, great, lukewarm banana tasting beer.
Not even.
yeah.
It's like at that point, just give me water. Just give me water.
You're like, I will drink nothing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Although I do like one Budweiser a year at Stampede.
That's the only time it's good.
Yeah, because then you're just like doing a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's also just because Stampede's beer prices are just insane anyway.
That you're like, no, this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like $14 for this Budweiser.
I like
Exactly. I like it, and there's tears in your eyes as you're counting it. It's like, why did I do this every year?
Please believe me.
Yeah.
And again, placebo effect. It does work sometimes, right?
It's true.
And although, like for me, I like going to the Stampede on Sundays because I think everybody's a little bit more relaxed on the Sunday.
Oh.
Right. I just like everybody's more relaxed because I hate the Stampede during its more debaucherous times.
Fair.
Yeah, I hate it. Me personally, I like it when everybody's a little bit more chill, including the bartenders, right?
They do get intense, which I understand they get intense on the weekend
Because they have to.
Yeah. No. I again, complete understanding. But I have sympathy for them.
Yeah.
Not so much for anybody else.
And also, you want the experience you want. Like, we always go to the Stampede on, like, a Wednesday. We sometimes do it weekend, but we always go on, like, a Wednesday night.
Yep.
We go to the Dream Home, then we go to the Wine Gardens. Mm-hmm. Then we walk around the BMO Center.
Yep. Then we'll probably get some food in there as well because we just drank.
Then you drink your Budweiser with tears in your eyes somewhere.
Yeah, that is the last thing we do.
Yes.
And then we go home.
Yes.
Watch the fireworks.
Yes, watch the fireworks with our Budweiser.
Yes. Or as we're leaving, because we're like, oh man, it's 11. I have to be up at for camp at like 6.
So I ended up with like free Guinness when I mentioned my beer story in there. It's like,
nice.
Yeah, well,
That's a good one.
Yeah, I know it is. If I go to a bar, I do like for me. If I'm somewhere I don't know, I start with a screwdriver. If it's somewhere I do know, I start with a Guinness.
Yeah, that's fair because you can get bad Guinness at places if you don't.
Well, it's also a clean out. Like if you have like a vodka or a gin and you do an orange juice thing, it's kind of like a little protection against like you don't know what the hell you're getting into.
That's true.
Right. So, but if I know the bar, if I know like, hey, I'm not going, I might get wasted here, but that's really the worst thing that's going to happen to me. I'll go to a Guinness, like something like that. I like the dark beers. I either like the really dark ones or like the really blonde ones. I don't. It depends on.
In the middle. I really like sours because they taste wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, not like Megan.
No.
What?
We have this friend Megan who actually works with our theater company.
Yes.
And she is really into craft beer. She had a blog for a while.
Yeah. Which she still does, but not as intensely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she works for Sidewalk Citizen, and she does a lot of like pairing events with Brewer's Apprentice and stuff like that. So for her fiance's 30th birthday, she planned a beer tasting event at Brewer's Apprentice, and we did like a
potato chip beer pairing.
And we showed up, and the woman went, "Oh, I've got this ready for you. It's a really exciting palette. I know that Megan loves sours,
so I have 2 on the menu." And Megan looked at us and went, and we just looked at her and we're like, oh no. And then the whole time she just sat there looking sour and like upset at
angrily drinking her samples of sours.
Just like, at least
the sours made her sour. Oh, yes.
Yeah. It was really funny.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, Megan.
Yes.
Yeah. It was really great. It's a great moment.
You definitely two have had some fun news. So I love the story of how you two actually formed your theater. You should tell that story.
Our story about how we it started in university when we sat in a room and we were like, it's hard to be girls. We should make a theater.
Yes.
But then we moved into doing collective creations, which is what we do. They are exactly what they pretentiously sound like, which is how we
just get a group of people together
and we collectively
create a play.
So we do writing exercises, and we listen to music, and we do object explorations, and we
usually have a theme that we're going off of, or like a loose storyline where we're like, okay, we really like the Greek myth of Persephone.
Let's do a play about that.
Let's do a play on that.
Or we think the woman's bathroom at a bar is really cool. Let's do a play on that.
Yeah.
But so the reason we decided to do these collective creations instead of doing real plays is I was at an audition. I went to the callback. There was one female role.
Yep.
Well, there was like a mom character, but there was one young female role. There were 15 girls called back for that role, and 8 of them were my friends. And we just got tired of competing with our friends.
Yeah.
To make art.
For roles that are
not that good most of the time.
No, there can be a lot of plays out there that only have certain female roles, and when you're young and emerging onto the theater scene, it can feel like you're never
getting
your
anything.
Story. Yeah,
like you're always someone's daughter, or someone's fiance, or the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so we decided we wanted to make plays where we are the hero, or we are the villain.
Exactly.
Or we are the complex mom who's going out for her first night out, and she had her 3-year-old and she just wants to have a really fun time.
Yeah.
Which
exactly.
There are moms around that age department that's what they really want to do.
Yes.
And we had that character in our play, and women I worked with strongly identified with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to go play. That's basically what the
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
And it's no different though too with just doing like roles. I had this conversation with Rob Sawyer, an actor or an actress in your case, in your cases, looks at a role and the art of it is figuring out where you can relate to a character and make it your own. And that's the true That's the true art of an actor. And when you're just the mom, or you're the daughter, or you're the damsel in distress, which I'm sure is another very common trope.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Depending on the era that the play was written in.
Yeah,
And the casting choices that the director or producing company choose to go in with the shows.
But there's a lot of roles where you don't get a lot of journey, and you don't get a lot of arc to play with. And I mean, as a good actor, you find your journey.
Yes, you'll always create something, but when you're young and you're emerging onto the theater scene and you are in these audition rooms and you see the same people over and over again getting the roles and the same people over and over again getting called back for the roles, you go, something's not working here.
Yeah, maybe we need a little bit of other voices.
Yeah.
A little bit too much of one club.
Yes.
So Calgary is actually a really great city for emerging theater companies.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I remember saying in 2011, like 8 years ago now, I did an interview and I said the market's not saturated. There's still room for everyone to come and play. And now 8 years later, I still think there is room for everyone to come and play.
Yeah, totally.
It's still like the infrastructure here hasn't been fully built. Like the one thing that actually that's Calgary in a nutshell. Actually, if you look at even how the city's designed, it's this giant thing with nothing in the middle. That's right. It's almost like it's a donut.
Yes.
Right. A giant donut with like the infrastructure that would be in a normal city was just not there. There's room for it. It's almost like this invisible. Please build me. If you build it, they will come.
Totally.
Yeah. But
and so that's what we did. We were like, hey, we just want to do the art that we want to do. Because there's also, when you're working for a company, they have the show. You know what shows you're getting into, and sometimes there's roles you want, and sometimes there's roles you don't want, and you have to pick and choose what you're going to audition for or who you're going to audition for. And we're like, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to audition for any of these shows. I'm just going to make my own show.
Yeah.
Create your own opportunities.
Exactly.
Yes, a lot of people are doing that here. I have a film buddy in Edmonton. Yeah, it's like, how did you become so successful, or about becoming so successful? He's like, I had to make my own opportunities. No one would give me the breaks for the things I wanted to do, so I created the things I wanted to do to create the breaks for. And that's so. I should ask that because I don't know, like the theater company concept. Do you see yourselves as actors or actresses or entrepreneurs?
It's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Like actor. So
I think we both prefer to act. Like it is a great luxury when we get to do a good show that's fun for us to be in and we just get to act in it.
Yeah.
However, we recognize that if we want to make our own opportunities, we need to do everything. So I would say by that token, we are entrepreneurs. You know, Claire handles all of our budgets. She wants to act in our shows, but if we can't find a stage manager, she stage manages them.
Yeah, my training is in stage management, so that's what I can do very well. So if we don't have somebody to do that, that'll fall on me. However, it's also the same thing, like Erin has a very strong directing background, so if we can't find a director, Erin will come in and direct for us, which can also be difficult when we are in the shows.
Yes, so we try really hard to bring in other people, and we try to make connections and blah, 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 synergy.
And blah, 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 synchronicity and serendipity and all those other words that mean nothing.
Yeah, because in order to make a good show, you need all of the elements there.
And you need to be able to collaborate. Like, it would be one thing for me and Claire to put on plays with just me and Claire, where we direct ourselves and we act in them and we costume design, but they wouldn't be very good shows.
Well, it's also more of a vanity at that point. Like, right. Don't get me wrong. You can do like doing a strong doing we're in a conference room right now, ladies and gentlemen, and doing a movie in this room would be an interesting challenge for about 15 minutes.
Yep. But if you tried to do a 2-hour-long movie that just took place in the conference room, why aren't you doing a play?
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or it better be a really, really good script.
Yeah.
Really
and have some really awesome camera angles in that.
Or it fits the context of the story very well. A good example, like I watched a movie called Disappearance of Alice Creed. It's all filmed in one room, but it makes sense. She's kidnapped.
Oh.
So you actually, the moment they walk in, they actually, the first 2-3 minutes of them is just patting everything off, locking everything away, making it so like that they basically tell you right away that everything you're going to see pretty much until the very end is in this room. And it actually works, but only because the nature of the story dictated that they could do it that way.
Yeah.
Right?
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's actually my favorite thing. I watched that movie. My favorite part of it is the opening part of it. I mean, for all the ups and downs and the bumps and bruises along the way in the story, right? Because this story gets really, really, like, why she was chosen to be kidnapped. The relationships all the characters actually really have with each other is the interesting part of the movie. But the first, 3 minutes of them taping everything up, tarping everything down, locking it, making sure that there's no way she can escape is very interesting. Because it's like, this is a very clever way to budget a room. Right, for a low budget movie and tell a really good story in that confine and not make it feel cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And story is really the most important thing.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, your story has to be strong. Because otherwise nobody will watch it. Or they will, but they won't enjoy it.
But they'll be unsatisfied.
Yeah. The experience will be ruined. It's like, this could have been better. It's like, yes, it could have. We had no money, and then that works once.
You can also yes, because no money is not an excuse for not a good story.
Yeah,
you can have no money and have a good
story.
story.
I look at Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie. You got towards the end of that movie. You could tell there were some budget problems at the very end. They ran out of money. They still did the best they could with what they had, and everybody was into it, and it almost it almost works, right? Perfectly. Still a good movie.
And if it works enough, then you get a chance to do it again. Hopefully the next time you have more money.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, in theater you can, and I think in film as well, just to a different degree because you need different people involved. You can do a theater production that costs you next to nothing, and it can be a really good production.
And we've done low-budget shows that have looked good, and we've done low-budget shows that have looked bad.
Yeah, and everybody does. You can go to a professional company, and the show can be garbage because whatever they've done with the design or the script is just a bad script. Usually that's what it is. The script is a terrible script, and they just tried their best, but nothing worked.
Well, like I said, actors, they have the ability to sometimes make a bad script good, a good script great. It's that rare combination of great everything that's when it's truly magical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's part of the actor and the director to find those moments together. Because if you're just going to act it, once again...
We saw a show recently, and it was not okay. It was not good.
No,
People
it was not
think
great.
It was good, but it was not good, and you could tell that the problem was not that they had untalented actors. They had very talented actors, but they weren't directed. I don't know if they were directed at all.
I was gonna say,
I know there was a director, but I don't know that this director pushed them because
watching it felt like the director
let them do
whatever
they did during the first read through,
and then the only thing that they did was go, okay, now you have to stand over there. And now you have to go over here because now I need somebody else to come in from this entrance because that's the door. So I need you to come in through the door because that's the only entrance into the room right now.
And
so,
we knew several of the actors, and we could tell that they were just doing what their natural instinct was. And there's something wrong with that. Of course, you're using your natural instinct in theater, but the job of the director is to take what your instincts say and polish them and move them to a higher level, to a place where it makes the connections for other people.
Yeah.
Well, it's also up to the director to have like a psychology for the story, right?
Yes.
That's a very important thing. Like your natural talent's like, I can do this. Well, yes, you can, but then the tone, it's funny because storytelling is at its very core. If it's good, no one notices it.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
When there's good directing, you don't know that the director did it. You just think, look at how good those actors are.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good directors, good actors, good, like, all that stuff is good. It's when you notice these things, right? That's when you know it's not good.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're critiquing something, you'll go in with a different mindset, and you'll look at those
yourself
things.
to notice.
Yeah, but again, I have to force myself.
Yeah.
If I can be greatly engrossed in an experience where I'm not even thinking about the tricks and the magic tricks and stuff like that.
And that's what makes a good play, and that's
Yeah.
what makes a good movie.
And that's what makes a good book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all in the story.
Yeah, it's all in how it's told,
And how it's told. Yeah.
That's it. Whereas if I, like, I have a unicorn pen here, ladies and gentlemen. This, I think more than anything, this is what sold Erin on the interview. Was this?
I was gonna say it's sad though. It's missing its horn.
There was no horn. It didn't come with a horn.
How is it a unicorn?
Oh, that's okay.
It's okay. But look at how rainbow it is.
It's very rainbow.
Yeah, it's very
I do quite enjoy it. I'm just sad that it's missing its little horn. Poor little unicorn. Anyway, continue. I tangented.
It's a tangent of what this podcast is all about. There is a horn. There's supposed to be a horn.
There was supposed to be a horn. It's just gone.
Wow.
Maybe you spent too much of the unicorn's energy writing your novel.
Yes, I did.
And it lost its horn. It sacrificed its horn to your novel.
That's right.
Well done, little unicorn.
That's right.
Well done.
Yes, I'm using these pens right now to write my Race Inside a Star novel. I have a young adult story about it. Legitimately, I call it my Super Mario Kart novel. That's what it actually is.
I love that.
Yes. So it's been easy right up until right where I'm at right now, and it's like, because of what I kind of want to do is I want to D&D and improv the actual race itself. I have I have the desired outcome in there, but the thing about like you guys are describing, like, you guys are really comfortable in an improv environment, right?
In a way, it's very structured what we do.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Improv is too.
Yeah. No. I feel like you guys could do. Where you guys seem to be, from what both of you sound like to me, it's like you guys enjoy creating your own twist as you go, right? Not just because you're feeding, not just because you're feeding off the live crowd, because sometimes I know that can impact the performance too. If the crowd is in more of a more humorous mood, you might be a little bit fancier free in terms of how you tell that story, right?
Totally.
This is true. Because think about
Yes.
how many lines we changed during Porcelain Dolls every night.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Like part of that's reading the crowd, but part of that is you're creative people that you like, and again, there's improv is actually a really, really underrated art form.
Oh, it
It is.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's just making funny jokes, which is the improv that we both hate. Like theater, I'm not a theater games person. No. Because I don't know, I'm not sharp like that.
Well, everybody, again, there's improvs have certain strengths. Like the classic, like, whose line is it anyway, improv you see there. Those, again, they're comedians, they're professional, like they're doing comedians. All their stuff is comedic, but you can tell there's parts where those guys struggle too. Like I want like making songs up as you go. That's actually a very, very, very hard skill.
It really is. Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
and I could tell. I think it was Ryan. I can't remember his last name. He struggles because he always goes last. Why does he always go last? He needs more time to do it. It's not his strength.
Yeah.
His strength is that back and forth interaction, like
That banter.
the banter. And banter definitely, like, I can see that in a play is really good. But I mean, it takes real strength to look at a script like, okay, right now, let's take this character and let's play how far we can go along this edge and still make it make sense. And that's
and that is a lot of what we do.
Yeah.
And you have the freedom to do that when you're creating the script itself as well, because you can play with the language, you can play with the words,
moving scenes around.
Yeah, and changing up even storylines. Like when we're creating, we have the freedom and ability to change a character's storyline because we go, something about it's not working. And then usually that can come at any point in time until we get an audience and lock it down. But up until then, even when we're in a rehearsal setting and we get all the actors are there and an actor comes up to us and goes, there's something about my character that I'm not grasping onto, and they're talking with us, they're talking with the director and going,
I don't have a connection this way.
Yeah.
Is there?
We may realize that there's a completely different scene that we need to add in there because their journey is not on stage.
Yes, mm-hmm. and on the same token, though, maybe it's just also, can I try this? Right? Can I do that? Can I see how this feels? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you find that voice,
This episode of Just Joshing is sponsored by Indie Imprint. Indie Imprint supports creators by creators. Whether you are writing a book or creating a video game, Indie Imprint works with its clients to produce, edit, and present their projects to the world. For more information, check out their website at www.indieimprint.com.
And that was part one of our conversation. Like I said, I could have possibly aired the whole thing like I've had in the past with some of the other conversations, but I thought this was a good way to close things up. And also, I haven't done a shorter episode in a while. Let me know what you guys think. Would you rather, when these interviews do go over an hour, would you prefer the whole interview in one gulp? Or would you like, me to break it up like I'm doing here? This is kind of an experiment. I kind of want to hear what you guys think. But not to worry, not that this conversation wasn't great. Claire and Erin definitely continue part 2. We have an amazing chat. These two are both incredibly talented women. And honestly, it was a pleasure to have them on the show. They are welcome back anytime they want. And let me know, guys, when your plays are up next, because honestly, I'd love to see one. I really, really would. Outside of that, well, so we got 2 more episodes left. And then next episode, I'm going to be talking about Cloud Diver, because that will, by that point, be almost completely ready. Maybe a few other surprises as well. Going to talk about definitely working towards making that impact. And, like I said, we'll talk about that next episode. But for now, that'll do it. So if you want to support this podcast, you can do so many, many different ways. First and foremost, subscribe to the podcast. I'm on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podomatic, soon to be on Stitcher, and any other. And I'm on a lot of different platforms. You can definitely check me out. Like it, listen to it, spread the word. However you can. I have a YouTube channel, Joshua Penteloresco. My past episodes are there. Listen to a bunch of them. I'm really proud of each and every episode I've done. I've had great guests and great people, and I've been very, very honored to do this. So definitely check me out there. Check out my sponsor, Indie Imprint. Get Your Ass to Mars is their game. It's a great game. It's an excellent simulator. I definitely love the science fiction kind of survival game. This is for you. Well done, well thought out. Definitely check them out. If you're a professional, if you're a writer, you're a musician, you're a video game designer, you're a filmmaker, they will go out of their way to help you be a polished professional. They are great that way. Definitely check them out at indieimprint.com. My books, The Watcher, Storm Dancer, Wandering God from Mirror World Publishing. Right now they have a special. Definitely go to mirrorworldpublishing.com if you want to get involved in that. They're doing great stuff right now. My Twitter and Instagram is at jpenteloresco. Very, very, very soon, I'll definitely have some Cloud Diver info for you as well if you want to keep supporting my books that way. My merchandise is at jpenteloresco.redbubble.com. My t-shirt of choice is Sparkle Sparkle. If you like a unicorn saying Sparkle Sparkle, there's definitely the place for it. I can't believe I've said Sparkle Sparkle this many times in this one episode alone, but I digress. But whatever you guys decide to do, stay inspired, keep doing your thing, and I'll see you guys next time to conclude this chat. All right? Take care of yourselves.
Josh.